The turn that I'm talking about is my palm is going to face away, and you are going to literally dig your forearm in, drag it up, and lock the floating ribs. That coupled with running into your training partner, because when we run into our training partner, it's like we're picking their hips up and then taking them all the way up and over. And it's so important that we run into them. The tighter Lance's Keisakatami is, the more he's pulling and the more his legs are basing, the more that sweep, that running in and elevating and scooping your hips under, the easier it is. And then it's going to be a great big bridge up and over, making sure that your hips stay up high and that we're rolling up on the top of our back. So let's do that again from a slightly different angle. You'll see this bridge. So again, my hand turns thumb down. We go lock our arms, and I'm going to begin running into Lance. Right here, I'm going to pick him up and bridge up over the very top of my back, and it's going to set him up and over. And once we're here, we're in an excellent position. We talk about this all the time, but I'm in a near side underhook position, so I will keep my left underhook, and I would move into low side and begin thinking and threatening that mount position or that back position, and we're in a very, very favorable position. Rather than trying to step over immediately, I would walk down into the legs and then drive in our classic low side position. So just without Lance, it's one thing that we want to know is, again, the hand turns down. We're bumping up and getting on our side to make sure that we can actually keep the weight flat. He wants to keep me here. I want to walk in, bumping up to get my elbow down and get myself on my side. And then we're going to pull down and in and lock the floaters. That's so important. It cannot just be any old where you grab your hand. You must start below the floaters, and then you're going to pull in and lock them in. We're going to walk into our training partner, and then we're going to bridge up. This knee helps me pick him up, and then we're going to lift up, and over. That bottom knee or that near knee is quintessential in the success of this technique, much like our cross-side escape back in the beginning of this tutorial where we pick them up on our elbow. It's the same sort of feel, but unfortunately we don't quite have our elbow on his bottom hip because we're too busy locked our arms so that we make sure we hold his floaters, and also we are protecting our arm from any type of Americana arm lock that can happen in this Keisakatami position. Remember, there are arm lock finishes from this position. So by holding our arm, we're locking his floaters and protecting our arm from those various finishes. Very, very, very important. And then the run into our training partner is really where the technique is going to shine, for us to pick him up and take him over our head. We cannot pull him over our body. So common mistake is this. I'll show you just with Lance over here. He's got Keisakatami. A very common mistake is to try to lift him straight over your body. That's going to be a bad mistake. The arm locks that I was talking about are all this. So I want to make sure that we've got to protect our arm. We go grab our arm to protect that. We get in the floaters, and it's not this way. It's run. Use your legs to pick him up. Your bottom leg picks his hips right up and over he goes. So very, very good Keisakatami escape with those details in mind. All right, let's take a look. We're just going to take a look at a classic self-defense move, or, well, in some training in your beginnings of your training, or if you're training with someone that's relatively new, or hey, a wrestler, a background. A headlock is something it's for real. There are two really powerful escapes that I'm a huge fan of, and we'll cycle through both of those here. Number one is the person, Lance left his head up, so he's headlocked me. And remember, the difference between a headlock and a scarf hold or Keisakatami is the arm control. So if I'm able to get my arm in here and get my hand on the inside, it's not, because it's completely different. It's a different escape. In this situation, his head is up, so I can make a frame underneath his head. And remember, the hand the right arm that's in the elbow or down on the hip, that's the one that's going to grab my frame to keep it over the top. And that just keeps a good 90-degree bend
in my left arm. But there is something we need to do that's very similar to our Keisuke Katami said. I need to still run into Lance first instead of just moving my hips away. There needs to be a sense of, for him, that I'm running him forward. And that helps him lean back, because when we run him forward and then we remove ourselves from him, he got weight into my chest. So when I move out backwards, he falls and I'm able to come up. When we're able to come up, if he continues to hold on and stay side on, we absolutely need to be careful that we do not get thrown over this way. But do we need to release the frame of the headlock? Not really, okay? Could we? Sure. I have a frame. Could I mount? 100% for sure. But if I just change the angle first, instead of mounting with my head down, if I just change the angle to the low side position, we change the headlock. And then when I mount him, it's a completely different situation. I can mount with underhooks. I don't really need to let go of the frame. And if I did let go, if I did force him to let go of the frame, if he was just really, hell-bent on hanging on, and I mount him, you can take your hands through here and mount at an angle where we don't have to fall back on an arm lock. And what we all know that when this happens, Lance can take his arm around my head, and that is totally fine. Because we have back, we have gift wraps, we have other situations that we could do besides falling back for an arm lock. So you have other options. You don't need to just fall back from an arm lock. In classic self-defense, that arm lock is one of the most probably well-known positions, but you don't need to do that. You could do that. It's an option. But if you're electing to have something a little more favorable, a little higher percentage, and stay in some control, you may want to elect to change your angle into the low side position where you are not perpendicular anymore. It'll make someone, for your opponent, it's going to make it much harder for him to roll you over. So you just change that angle a little, and then you can mount easier. And then you also have, when you do release, if you want to release or need to release, you have the options of gift wraps. You're going to have the option of staying on top, and in self-defense, really the idea would be to run away, would not to be potentially falling back in an arm lock, would probably be just get away. And you could do that really easily when you're on top. But for training purposes, you have the back. When you're here, you have the gift wrap in the back. So I would staying in that position and taking the back rather than falling off in an arm lock. But that's my personal preference, a debate for another day. So again, we'll just do a headlock escape. We're in this situation. My arm is now free, which makes it different than scarf hold or Keisuke Katami. I'm going to hold, and the real key is because we're driving in. We're making it uncomfortable, for him, so he drives back. And that drive in lets me move out of the way, scissor my legs, and then we're here. And now, instead of braking here or mounting here, when you mount with your head down, there is a possibility that you're going to get rolled. If he's holding tight and I change the angle, all of a sudden the headlock disappears. It's now a low side position, and if we want to mount with low side position, we know that we can loop the leg over, take the insides, come in, and we have gift wraps, etc., etc. So just change the angle to that low side, a near side underhook, that low side position, and you'll feel that the headlock all of a sudden just becomes almost nothing because we've changed that angle. It also makes it incredibly hard for someone to continue to roll you away. If they turn, they're going to give you their back. So just some food for thought on a classic move. Just a little bit of a different ending there, a different way to do things. Make sure that you run in first, then move away. It'll make that move much, much easier for you.